Your voice, your vote with our Know Your Candidate series.
ABC 7's David Grasso-Ortega joins us with another special report to get you better acquainted with the candidates that will be on Saturday's ballot. David?
Larry, Lisa, Amarillo City Council Place 4 is a crowded race with 5 candidates. And tonight you'll get to meet 3 of them, Dale Potter, Walter Wolfram, and Frank White. They spoke to me one-on-one in their homes about their plans if elected and what their take is on the Amarillo Economic Development Corporation's purchase of the Commerce Building downtown that's currently under investigation by the FBI. While Place 4 is a packed field, tonight's Know Your Candidate features 3 very different individuals that all come from different parts of the city. Frank White, a transplant from Mississippi, has called the city home for decades.
I just, love Amarillo. Just the people and the diversity in the city. It's just it's a great place to live.
Dale Potter, the youngest candidate, just returned from military service and once again calls his native town home.
I was a sergeant leading multiple tasks, multiple soldiers in different theaters, different operations. I got out in 2012. I've been married for 6 years to my wife, and we have a 2-year-old. And when I got out of the Army, we knew we'd move back here.
Walter Wolfram is a lawyer who's been extremely active in the community. He's been embedded in Amarillo politics for more than half a century. He's running because he says that his calls for accountability to the city council fall on deaf ears.
It's an amazing process to watch, and you pointed out, and I have concluded that when I get in front of them, I go into some kind of warp world and speak Chinese to them.
Each candidate was given a chance to articulate their vision for Amarillo. Wolfram talked at length about a more accountable city, and he's especially concerned about what would happen if he's not elected.
If I don't get elected, what I expect to happen, and that is we will muddle along, and we will squander money, and we will not pay attention, and our treasury will be robbed. Nobody on the council is patting their back. They're standing around while rich people pad their back.
White's vision called for something drastically different than a baseball stadium downtown.
Facility that you could use year-round for different attractions instead of a baseball stadium, which most likely be 5 months out of the year. 6 months will be stretching it with the weather around here.
And for Potter, it's all about having a city council that's ideally a representative democracy.
To truly have a city council that is the voice of the people, to be that true representative, I think it's easily forgotten that when you're there, it's not for yourself.
Each candidate in the Know Your Candidate series was asked to weigh in on a hot-button issue. In this race, we asked them what they thought about the AEDC's purchase of the Commerce Building. Coincidentally, one of their opponents, Steve Rogers, was hired to appraise the building before it was sold to our Economic Development Corporation by a group of investors.
But to sell for the 1.6, and then for the AEDC to buy it, say 7 months later for 3.1 million. That's a lot of leeway.
Obviously, I think for anybody, when you look at that, it does raise red flags. To have been the appraiser, to look at the price difference in what it was previously bought for as opposed to what it was sold for, especially when you're talking about taxpayer dollars.
I would have the AEDC file a lawsuit to set the transaction aside, get their money back.
And we have yet to meet the other 2 candidates running for Place 4, Mark Nair and Steve Rogers. They'll be featured tomorrow at 10 p.m. And if you want to see any of our Know Your Candidate reports, go to our website, abc7amarillo.com, and click on the Know Your Candidate tab under News.
Thank you for that report, David.
Thanks, David. Well, the race